Okay, let's bring in Vincent Tuwani, who is the director in charge of research and advocacy at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to talk to us about the state of the economy. Manufacturing and sales managers indices declined very strongly in the first month of January. That was causing a lot of buzz already on social media. How did we get to this point that you have Nigeria's PMI at one of its worst levels since April 2013, when FBN Quest says it's been tracking this? Is the worst reading to date. And who to blame? Foreign currencies. That's a report yesterday. Last week, from World Economics, London-based research firm, Nigeria's Sales Managers Index also declined. Even though we're still the best in terms of the 4 countries in Africa that World Economics cover, Nigeria has a lot to consider. Business confidence going down, sales and market growth all in the red. Vincent, good morning. Talk to us about these numbers. A lot of upset there, no thanks to foreign exchange. These numbers, these indices coming through from the manufacturing and sales, does it go to confirm what the fears of the LCCI had always been about the restrictions on the FX as well as in some imported items?
Of course. The numbers we're seeing here is quite consistent with the LCCI Business Confidence Index. The Q1 2016 fell all the way from 9 points in end of 2015 to 5 points. You know, that is losing about 4 points there. You know, looking at the Purchasing Managers Index released by FBN Quest, of course, this clearly collaborates. We're losing about 10 points already. You know, so this confirmed the state of economy. We projected this to happen last year, that all of the adverse policies, especially the way the FX market was managed, we begin to see the results crystallize. And this is not the worst we're expecting, unfortunately. You know, by the end of first quarter, of course, it will be very, very clear, even with the company's result coming in, with the job numbers and we are tracking, is really, really going to be red. But again, we find out that a lot of things need to begin to happen. You know,
and that's a natural question. What would you expect the Buhari's administration to be doing right now? Let's start from the central bank. The president, in his budget presentation to Congress or the National Assembly, says he expects the central bank to start doing some relaxation in the restrictions. So how soon do you think the central bank should start doing this forex market, currency market easing?
The relaxation have already started. You know, a week, 2 weeks ago, you see them lifting the ban on the foreign currency deposit on domiciliary accounts, and also lifting ban on the transfer to about $10,000 per day. These are just the initial steps taken. But we are asking the CBN to quickly and urgently try and clean up the autonomous market, you know, where they've pushed a whole lot of players into, including stopping sale of FX to the Bureau de Change. You know, we want to see a clear direction in that market, where a lot of people are already playing about $300 naira per dollar as we speak. You know, we want autonomous money to flow into that market to release the liquidity squeeze in that market, and a high expectation from LCCI and our members and the larger business community is to see the Buhari administration and the CBN consider the inevitable devaluation of the currency. Unfortunately, we have to say that now.
Does the LCCI support Naira devaluation?
Yeah, we support it at this time. We have weighed the option very, very difficult.
You seem to be the only guy. You guys seem to be the only ones on the block who supports devaluation of the Naira.
For us, we feel that the rationing of exchange rate to the person you like and the person you hate is more dangerous than devaluing the currency.
But Nigeria does not have the money. You just give. You don't give what you don't have. If you look at the central bank, our monthly expenditure about $1.2 billion, our net inflow is about $600 million. It's a very delicate balance.
In any market where the regulator is in conflict with the market, of course the market will have its way at the end of the day.
But that is why we're the one in charge of the economy, not the market.
The regulator is the one in charge of the market, but the market have been in conflict with the regulator's position. Fine, we are in tune with the CBN's position that we should look inward to source our raw materials. But lag time is the issue. Even for those commodities that we have comparative costs on, comparative advantage on, such as the palm oil, you find out that today Nigeria can only supply about 30% domestic need, about 600 metric tons per annum. We need about 1,800 metric tons. to fuel the local consumption of oil palm. And this is the contracts. The same thing applies to metal and metal products, rubber and rubber products. So the second message to CBN at this time, apart from the devaluation, which is a difficult option, but is better than scarcity and the volatility we're seeing in the FX market, is for them to still consider the 41 items ban. You know, few or about 16 items need to be considered. The review, we see them as critical input to the manufacturing sector. You know, and this 16 items translate to about 700 lines of products and services in the manufacturing sector. In that manufacturing sector, apart from the breweries and food, you know, drinks and breweries, which contribute about 40% of the total in the manufacturing sector, that is the only place you see that they can leverage more on domestic input. But auto and auto parts, the food, even the food, we need to see depend on importation of raw materials, at least for some time, until the backward integration that everybody is now investing in will begin to see results.
When do you see the GDP for fourth quarter 2015 coming through? When it comes out, what are your expectations? Based on what we have right now?
Yeah, the expectation, of course, I'm not the data authority, but we expect the GDP to slack a little bit more. You find out that we track that the restriction on the foreign exchange costs about 1.4 trillion naira on the turnover that's supposed to come to the private sector during the last 6 months of last year. You know, even the customs have also said that this policy affected them for about 360 billion in custom revenue. So all of this again will likely and definitely impact on the lower numbers for quarter 4 2015.
Where do you think the government should spend money to reflate or bring the manufacturing sector back on stream or back to speed?
The government, unfortunately, like you said, they don't have money right now. But
so
it's not about spending money now. Of course, if they are spending money, it has to be on infrastructure. You know, the roads have to work, the ports have to work. You know, because the ports, the roads are not working right now. But beyond that, of course, power also have to work. You know, that is what we're asking them. We're not looking for direct intervention in terms of dashing us or giving us money, but making the right regulation, the right policy and right regulation. And right now, you can see that we have subsidized a little bit on the interest rate. We've been talking about exchange rate for a long time. The availability of forex and the rate, we have to be sure of that, because these have created a lot of crisis in the system, confidence crisis. It is difficult to ask a foreign investor to come into this market right now. And again, it is a lost situation for both the private sector and the public sector.
Vincent, we're going to look forward to your LCCI's first quarter report and, of course, your full year for 2015. I'm sure we'll have a lot to digest in the days ahead. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Vincent Wani, Director of Research and Advocacy at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry.